Welcome to this video. My name is Eva. I'm a certified nutritionist, and in this video I talk about the difference between a healthy relationship with food and an unhealthy relationship with food, because there's a huge difference. And obviously we want to have a healthy relationship with food. So first of all, I want to say you can have an unhealthy relationship with food on any diet, so basically you can eat a standard diet, raw vegan diet, paleo diet, whatever diet you're on, and you can have a bad and unhealthy relationship with food. And you can be on each diet and have a relatively healthy relationship with food. So what is a healthy relationship with food and what is an unhealthy relationship with food? So basically a healthy relationship with food is when you have a lot of positive feelings towards food. So for example, you have to believe that food nourishes you, that when you eat food it gives you the energy to live your life to the fullest. For example, when I eat fruit, afterwards I just feel so amazing. I feel so in love with life. I love it so much. And that's for me a really good relationship with food, when you have to believe, like when I'm hungry, I eat something. I'm not thinking, oh, how many calories, or maybe I'm gonna be fat or something. I don't think, like, I just eat when I'm hungry, and when I'm full, I don't eat anymore. So I have just a lot of positive beliefs about food. I really like it. I don't measure it. I don't need to count calories. I'm really in tune with my, I don't know, with my intuition as well. So for me, that's a very healthy relationship with food, very relaxed as well. Um, so yeah, I think a healthy relationship with food is as well that you don't obsess about it, but you have a passion for it, or you like the things that you eat, but you still eat to live your life. So you don't live to eat, but you eat healthy because you want to show up in your life in healthy ways, like be the best version that you can be, or have enough energy to go out and meet with friends and obviously work, and you just want to eat so that you have a lot of great energy. That's, I think, a healthy relationship with food. I mean, like, it's a huge topic, but that's just a very simplistic way of showing it to you, that basically you want food to nourish you so that you can live your life to the fullest, and also focus on the many other areas of life that matter, like friendship or work, etc. And also your self-worth does not really depend on how you eat. That's also really important, really big sign of a healthy relationship with food, that even though you maybe eat something that is less optimal, that you're not getting emotional, etc. about it, because you know that you have self-worth the way that you are, and it does not depend on the way that you eat. So what is an unhealthy relationship with food? Obviously it's completely opposite. It's, in my opinion, really marked by a lot of negative emotions around food. So for example, when you don't see food as something that nourishes you, but you see food as an enemy, you see food as something that makes you fat or that gives you pimples or whatever it is, you don't see food as something positive, you see food as something negative. And that's very unhealthy. Also, in my opinion, really unhealthy is when you have a lot of fear around food. So for example, when you're afraid of cooked food or afraid of junk food. And for me, like, I'm vegan with all my heart, so obviously I don't eat animal products, but not because I'm afraid of them. I really don't want them, because it's like meat is a dead animal. I would never eat that. And it's like, it has nothing to do with fear. And for me, to be honest, I think the first year of me going raw vegan, I was a little bit afraid of cooked food, because I was afraid, oh no, when I slip up of my healthy diet, like, everything is lost. So I was thinking really in black and white terms. And for some people, it's that way. Like, they have food addictions, for example, and when they eat one one unhealthy thing, they just start to, like, it's like an alcoholic when they get sober, but then they have one sip of alcohol, like, everything is done. But for many people they're not, and for me, I'm not. So if I eat something cooked, like, nothing is like, I still crave raw food. So yeah, what I want to say is that it's really not great to be afraid of food. It's really better to, if you don't want food, like, for example, I don't like cooked food too much because I know afterwards I just don't feel so good. or not as good as with raw food, but I don't want it, and it's not that I'm afraid of it. I'm not afraid of it. I know that when I eat it, nothing bad will happen. And to be in that stage of not being afraid of food is much better than to be so afraid of of bad things that might happen when you eat cooked food. So unhealthy relationship with food is when you have those emotions around food, like feeling shameful about it is another sign of unhealthy relationship with food, that you feel very ashamed if you eat something less optimal, or that you get very emotional over food. Like for example, if I'm traveling and there's no raw food around and I eat something cooked, like it's not the end of the world. In a day, it like I digested it, it's all right. And maybe I don't feel optimal the next day, but it's not the end of the world. But when you feel like you eat something less optimal and then it feels like the end of the world, you feel so much shame and so much guilt, and you feel like you failed in life, that's just a sign of an unhealthy relationship with food. Another sign of unhealthy relationship with food is obsession. So when you need to weigh food before you eat it, and obviously when you have like a health condition, you need to be very precise. That's completely different. But when you don't have any health condition and you still need to see each calorie that it has or each ingredient that it has, when you're just very rigid, that's also a sign of unhealthy relationship with food. And there's a big difference between obsession and passion. And for me, I know that for me, raw food is my passion. Like it's also now my profession. So I coach people and I do those YouTube videos as my job. And so it's my biggest passion in life. And there's a difference and a line between obsession and passion. And I think the difference is that for me, raw food and teaching people about it and teaching people to go vegan or eat more fresh fruit and veggies, it really gives me a lot of energy. Like today I was kind of like, oh, not having so much energy, and now I'm sharing this, like making this video, and I just feel really energized. Like it gives me so much. And I think the difference between passion and obsession is that passion, it gives you so much, like happiness, and obsession, it really takes a lot from you. So if you're obsessed with food, like obsessed with you need the perfect food, it takes away from your life quality, because you can only think about that one thing and you cannot think about other things. Like for me, I choose to like work a lot with food because I love it, but I don't work with food because I have to, because I love it. And there's just a difference between obsession and passion. So yeah, I think that like these are some of the signs between unhealthy relationship with food and healthy relationship with food. Some ways to get out of that is just to obviously get therapy, because usually when you have an unhealthy relationship with food, there's just a lot. It's not just about the food, it's also just how you see yourself. It has a lot to do with self-worth or etc. So therapy is the number one, obviously, to get a professional therapist. Then another great way to get out of it is to face your fear foods. So for example, if you're afraid of pasta, um, and it's like there's a difference between not wanting to eat pasta because you cannot digest gluten that well, and there's a difference between being afraid of pasta. So I would definitely recommend to just try your fear food and try it. Just have a bite and then sit with all the emotions that come with it, like guilt, shame, fear, whatever it is. Just sit with it and know it's okay. And it doesn't mean that you need to eat pasta. Like obviously if it doesn't feel good for your body, don't eat it. But the whole goal is to not be afraid of it, and to in the end just have a lot more flexibility with your life, and that whenever you maybe do something and you come into the situation that there's nothing around except for pasta, that you can eat it and it like nothing bad is gonna happen. So you want to just create freedom, like you want to eat healthy, but you also want to have a fulfilled life, and you want to find that balance between both. Yeah, I think that's a great, and in general, just always face your fears. If you're a little bit rigid about going out to restaurants, force yourself to go to restaurants. That's what I actually did because I was, to be honest, bullied when I was a child, and I was eating vegetarian and it's like the odd one out, and it really put so much, I had so much shame and guilt, like, oh, I'm different. And I really had to work on that, because then with the years I just never went out to eat because I was just so afraid that people would bully me again. And obviously now I'm an adult, so if a person bullies me, I'm thinking, who are you? Like, get like you can be more mature. And so it doesn't really affect me that much anymore, but it's a process, and it really happens for me by forcing myself to go out to eat a lot and be okay with not eating the most optimal food. Like, the goal is not perfectionism, the goal is really to make it sustainable in ways that go along with the life that you want to live. And for some people, they want to live a very, very stable life and maybe live off grid. And for other people, they don't want to do it, or they have a stressful job and they don't want to give up that job, etc. So yeah, and that's my philosophy, is really encourage people to eat more fresh fruit and veggies and go vegan if possible, but not out of any perfectionism, but just because there are so many benefits that go with it. So yeah, I want my clients to go obviously eat more fresh fruit and veggies, because they will feel much better, but also just have a healthy relationship with food. So I'm curious, do you have an unhealthy relationship with food, a healthy relationship with food? What did you have maybe in the past, an unhealthy relationship with food? Write it in the comment section. I'm really interested to hear about it. Maybe you have different opinions about this topic. And if you like this video, then please give it a like, subscribe to my channel. I'm really excited to see you or that you watch my next video. I'm gonna post a lot about fruit-based diet, vegan diet, vegan diet. I have a lot of great offers, ebooks. Sometimes I offer coaching if I have capacity. I'm also working on an e-course, so definitely check out everything in the description below. And I'm just really excited for you to have a great life and to have a great diet. I hope you have a wonderful day, and see you in my next video. Bye bye.